Hey, Tony Gaston here, popping in. Now, a young lady asked me today to do a video on, a high value man. And, that's a term, and I didn't come up with that term, and I really don't speak on other people's terms. And so, what I'm talking about is a kingdom man. We've heard of that. A man of God, a grown man. And so, and just going forward, for y'all know, don't ask me to comment on another man video, on another man or woman video, or they slogan or they phrase, because I'm not going to use my platform to send people to somebody else's platform that I don't know who they are, what they doing, if they doing the work of the Lord. And so y'all just going forward, don't ask me about nobody. Okay, if I see something that I want to speak on, I'm gonna speak on it without saying names. Because and people say, why you can't say, why you not saying the name? You can't say the name because your whole video could get taken down. Because you speaking on somebody's name, that's defamation. So some of y'all just you got to use inference and read between the lines. And if I'm talking about something, then okay, I'm talking about something. You don't have to go in the comments, oh, he talking about that. Everybody already know that. Do you want a cookie? It's like, come on now. Now let me help y'all understand something about a man of God, because women always ask about this, and there's a lady who's in the comments, and I just had to read her in the comments just to let her know, because this is the thing. This is what I mean when I say too heavenly minded that earthly good, when you really ain't read the Bible. And so it's so many women on the video, like the video I was talking about, younger men liking older women. 99% of the time, that's not a genuine connection. 99% of the time. If you want to bet on the 1%, by all means, go right ahead. I've been out here. I know what I'm doing. I'm a man. I've been out here. Well, let me tell you. Now, to be honest with you, I have not seen the one time. I ain't seen the 1%. I'm just leaving that 1% open just because I know stuff could happen. But I have not seen it with my own eyes as a man to where I believe it. I've seen younger men with much older women, but I could look at this man, or I know this man, or I can talk to this man, and I know what he doing. And so sometimes what women don't understand is when you have, a man and a man of God, for one, what you have to realize is that God has attributes and qualities. God does things decent and in order. Read the book of Corinthians. God is not the author of confusion. A man who is of pure heart and pure intentions is not going to be praying for a woman that is 10 plus years older than him. Because if he has an age requirement like that, that's not a pure heart of pure intentions, because the only reason he would want a woman that age or older is for malintent. Because if it's pure, there's nothing that a woman his age cannot do for him that a woman 10 plus years older can do for him. So that is a preference. That's not a standard. And when God is in the building, when God moves, God's going to move based on standards. God is going to move based on principles. So that's why a lot of women don't meet the man that God has for them, because what they want, what they're praying for, what God is saying, when we go to God about a spouse, what God is saying is, listen, you have to view people the way I view them. So God is not in the game of, God is a spirit. It is not a matchmaker on a throne. That's a spirit. A lot of people don't even understand God. It's like God ain't sitting up there playing. That's a spirit. God is a spirit, not a man with a computer doing algorithms to send you your match. And so what you have to understand, we spiritual beings having a human experience. So when you go praying to God about a man that's 6'4" and that has an 8-pack, that's preferential. Those are preferences. What you have to worry about in a kingdom man is his character. Now, yes, you don't want him to look like the back of a 57 Buick. You want him to look somewhat decent, but that's also decent and in order. That's also not confusing. Having somebody that you at least attracted to might not be your dream sculpture of a man, but it's somebody you attracted to. And this is what you have to understand, because so many women are always talking about, oh, a kingdom man, a kingdom man. And every time I'm describing to y'all, men, a lot of times women don't understand that even a man of God is a man. Why do you think you see pastors embezzling money? He's a man. Why do you think you see pastors cheating on their wives? He's a man. A man of God is not perfect. A man of God is not all-knowing. A man of God is not all-seeing. A man of God, it does not have all of his ducks in a row. A man of God does not have all his problems solved. He is a man. Raise your hand in the comments if you have met a man who goes to church and reads his Bible and he has tried to sleep with you. He is a man. Every single man of God in the Holy Bible and in your life has sinned except for Jesus Christ. Show me the man. Show him to me. So what you have to understand, when it's a lot of times women will try to be the exception to the rule, and they think God breaking his back for them. Listen, you 45 years old and you got you a 25-year-old man, God ain't got nothing to do with that. Just because you got you a 25-year-old man that's doing right by you, that don't mean God in the mix. Because you don't, see, a relationship needs to have longevity. So just because you done met somebody and it's been going good for a year, it's been going good for 2 years, for 3, that don't mean nothing. Some men ain't gonna hit you with the wham bam until 8 years in, 10 years in. Some men getting all their stuff together to where they getting you to where, boom, it's like this. This man could have a house that's $150,000. You could have a house that's $300,000. You could have assets. You could have a 401k. You could have savings. So this man, he come in, he got his own house. He got his own car. He whining you, dining you. He cherishing your mind. He's speaking life into you. He quoting scriptures. He read his Bible. He go to church. So all of a sudden, you drop all common sense and you say, this is a man of God. But what you don't know is that could be his representative. What you don't know is this could be a minion of Satan. And what his goal is to marry you. Now combine your net worth. So now he instead of him being worth $150,000, he still owed $125,000 on the house, so he really was only worth $25,000. Instead of him being worth $25,000, you got a $300,000 house that you done paid off, or you done paid off $150 of it because you paying to the principal every month because you a good steward of your money. So now he get with you. Now y'all got $500,000 worth of houses. Guess what? He stayed with you long enough to accumulate more stuff because you done ignored all the red flags. The first red flag is that he 10 years younger than you. That's the first red flag. But you ignore that red flag and you keep going. Because, oh, this a man of God. This a man of God. Listen, God gonna do things decent and in order. God is not the author of confusion. See, when God moves, yeah, it's gonna be impressive to people, but you ain't really gonna have to overly explain it. It ain't gonna be so far from common sense. It ain't gonna be so far from common sense because God is not no genie in the bottle. It's still gonna make applicable sense for your life. Yes, it's gonna look like a miracle, signs and wonders, but you still gonna be able to wrap your head around it. When you looking at this situation and here go this man that 15 years younger than you, that ain't got nothing to do with God. They ain't got nothing. Don't go putting words in God's mouth, putting stuff on God. If God ain't got nothing to do with that. Because you gonna know if God in the midst, you ain't even gave it no time. And you can't go hypothetically, oh, God is gonna send me a man that is the exact height, the exact weight, the exact income, the exact job, the exact smile. The man of God, he gonna come, he gonna be this. Listen, you describing somebody that God ain't even created. God is like, do you know who my son was? You like, yes, Jesus Christ. Do you know how tall he was? No, I don't know. All right then. Did you read anywhere that he was perfectly built? And did you read anywhere that when eyes laid hold on him, he was the best looking man that the world has ever seen and will ever see? Did you read that anywhere in the Holy Bible? Okay then. So if my own son, this is what the Lord said, if my own son came, my own son don't match your list. You asking for a man better than Jesus Christ. You asking for a man better than Jesus Christ. Come on now. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand and realize. A man of God is a man who knows God and is on a pursuit for better. But he's failing every day still in one way or another. A man of God is still a man who needs his wife to be a support system and a catalyst and an accountability partner in his life. The man of God is not perfect. The man of God ain't gonna call every shot perfect. The man of God ain't gonna do everything perfect. It's gonna be some arrangements and some decisions made on your birthday, on your anniversary, on Valentine's that don't sit all the way well with your spirit because he's human. He's human. So y'all have to get this idea of, because you're going to be waiting till you die. Because a lot of y'all waiting on this quote unquote man of God and don't even know what a man of God is. Don't even realize what a man of God is. And it's like, listen, so, Tony God. Shando. Shando Hamdara. God can do the unthinkable, the unspeakable. The man God has for me is dripping in anointing. And I went to God and I prayed to God for a 6'4" pecan 10 millionaire man with an 8-pack. That's gonna do what? He gonna do what? Accept you with all your imperfections You see what I'm saying? So how you praying for something that you not even that? Oh, I want a man of God. Are you a real woman of God? Because last I know, a woman of God ain't going to be in a man of God comments with a beg to differ spirit trying to stir up strife, trying to argue, trying to derail other people's message. Last I know, a woman of God going to have the wisdom to seek counsel, because the Bible said there is wisdom in a multitude of counsel. So last I know, a woman of God is going to listen to an entire video and then realize if it's speaking to her or not without her speaking prematurely before she has listened to the entire message. That's what a woman of God gonna do. Is she gonna seek wisdom? And then when it's something that doesn't sit well in her spirit, she's not gonna speak on it right then. She gonna take it to God in prayer. And then she gonna look a little deeper and say, Lord, help me see what I need to see here. And if this is wrong, then let me go on, give me the strength to go on about my business without this changing what you done said to me. See, a woman of God knows what God has shown her, and she don't have to share that with nobody else. A woman of God ain't got to argue with me or nobody else in the comments, in the grocery store, on the job. Because when God has showed you something, you ain't got to argue with nobody. So listen to the thing. If you arguing about your man of God, if you arguing about your man of God, you ain't even no woman of God yet. You ain't even no woman of God yet, because a woman of God ain't going to be stooping to argue with nobody about what God done showed her, about what God done told her. She got the message she need to get. And so she going to say, okay, all right, this here book, this here video, this ain't for me. But I know it's for somebody. Because it might be somebody else that they getting duped. They getting tricked. They getting played by this man, this type of man over here. But that ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm going to pray for them. God bless them. Okay, cool. But I ain't finna come in a man of God or a woman of God church or YouTube video or book comments to holler because I feel hit dog holler. I'm not finna be the hit dog holler if I'm a real woman of God or a real man of God. I'm gonna go on about my business. I'm gonna do what I got to do, and I'm not finna be trying to sow discord. I ain't finna be trying to sow no strife. I ain't finna try to be no Pharisee on the street corner arguing with scriptures. I ain't finna do none of that if I'm a real man of God or a real woman of God. You see what I mean? Because what God done showed me, what God done told me, I don't need nobody's opinion on that. So I ain't even looking into that. I ain't even Googling that. I ain't even looking that up on YouTube, on Amazon, on Google, because God done already gave me my answer. If I'm a real man of God, I trust God, not what man got to say. So I ain't even trying to hear that unless God send me there. If God send me to that book, if God happened to show me that YouTube video, then that could be God saying, listen, it's wisdom in a multitude of counsel. I'm sending you, I'm creating this cosmic collision with you and this person, book or video or sermon or conversation over lunch at work. I done crossed paths with you because you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. That's what God's saying. God said, that's why I crossed your path with this person, because you thinking that the man you got is a man of God. But you don't realize that's his representative. And there's so many common sense red flags in this here situation that you ignoring. And God saying, listen, I could do signs and wonders, but you also got to just pay attention to common sense first. Wisdom. Just first off out the gate, wisdom. Just out the gate. All right, red flags. Okay, sirens going off. Red flags waving in the wind. Like, pay attention to that. The God not finna come and turn no Lucifer into no angel for you. Oh, God ain't finna do that, because it don't make no sense. It's still, that's why the Bible say God is not the author of confusion. It ain't finna be confusing. It's not finna be like, listen, I don't have no college degree and I'm blessed, but that's not confusing, because you say, well, he or she is blessed because of the sacrifice and the commitment, because of the integrity, because of their walk with God. That make common sense. That's plain as day. That ain't confusing. Now, what would be confusing is if I had 3-4 wives. If I was quoting the name of God with 3, 4, 5 wives, if I'm cheating on women, if I got multiple illegitimate children, if I'm stealing, if I'm doing criminal activity, and then being just blessed, that would be confusing. God is not the author of confusion. You see, so when God in the midst, it's going to be a sign and wonder. When God in the midst, but it's still, you going to still be able to see God in the midst. You still going to be, okay, I see. It's still going to be for you. It ain't going to be something that you got to rack your brain over. It ain't going to be something that you got to drive 90 miles an hour into a tree and hope that you live. It ain't going to be that case and scenario. You see what I mean? So what you have to understand is that even when God doing something, and if God send you a man of God, this man still going to need work. He still going to need prayer. He still going to need to be held accountable, because the devil real too. So if he a man of God, don't you think the devil want him more than anybody? The devil won't be attacking him more than he attacking the men of the devil. Because the devil like, look, I already got these men. I want this man. So I'm finna show him every test, every temptation. And when he weak, when he lose his job, I'm on his head. That's what the devil's saying. Well, if he a man of God, he ain't gonna lose his job. If he a man of God, he ain't gonna be weak. That's why you're saying that, because you don't read your Holy Bible. Did you see Job? Job was a man of God, the most faithful man of God, and God allowed him to be tested. Job's whole family was killed. All his animals were killed. Houses were burned down. Job was weak. He cursed the day he was born. He was ready to die. Lord, take me, like, what's going on? But he never cursed God. So see, listen, even a man of God will be tempted and tested by the adversary. And in this day and time, that man got a whole lot more temptation at his fingertips than what Job had. See, Job was in a space to where he could stay a little stronger, because he ain't have pornography on the app. See, Job couldn't just get on the internet and order a piece of booty. See, Job would have had to walk miles, probably days, to order him a piece of booty. This man today could literally just go on a website. Booty on the way. You see what I'm saying? So yes, even your quote unquote man of God is still going to be imperfect. So y'all got to stop ignoring common sense. Talking about, oh, when God, a kingdom man. Look around. Look around. Guess what? I'm a kingdom man, and I still get tested. A few ladies tested me today. I had to look them right in the eye. Okay, thank you for the compliment. Go on about my business. Just like, and I'm a kingdom. It ain't just to where I'm not gonna be tested. No, the devil gonna shoot his shot. The devil gonna show me a woman that got something that my wife might not have. And that could be anything. It's always gonna be somebody that got something that you don't have as a woman, and your kingdom man, your man of God, gonna be tested. And guess what? He still needs somebody that's praying for him. He still gonna have to be praying. And see, your kingdom man might not have a purpose of relationships. See, me, I preach and teach on relationships every day, so that keep me strong in that relationship area. Your man might have a non-profit where he working with young men. Them young men might be telling him, man, get you something else, man. You ain't supposed to be with one woman, man. So them young men may not judge him for cheating on you. So they ain't holding him accountable. They might look up to him, think he cooler, because that's all they saw. So guess what? When these moms and these volunteers come into his nonprofit and them hams back there swinging, bouncing like two basketballs and up here, and she got all this aura and she looking like Jezebel reincarnated, and he like, whoa, yes, he gonna be tested. And guess what? If it was righteous men like David, who was the apple of God's eye, who fell into sin with Bathsheba. It was righteous men who fell. What you got to understand, y'all keep hollering about a man of God, man of God. Let me help you get real in this world. You got to get here on this world. God is not sending you a perfect man. You still gonna have to check him about the way he talked to you, because he gonna get beside himself one day. You still going to have to check him about nasty movies, because that's gonna pop up on his screen. It's gonna come across his popular page on Instagram, on Twitter. I literally go on my Twitter timeline. Back in the day, I was arrogant. And on Twitter, I only was following 25 people. People started bothering me, calling me out about that. Why you only follow 25 people? So I just clicked follow on 50,000 people, because I had like over 100,000 followers at the time. So now I literally follow more than 50,000 people, but to follow that many people, I just went to I clicked on followers, and then I just went down the list, just real fast. I ain't read nothing about nobody, I ain't look at nobody's pictures. Guess what? In them 50,000 some plus people, some of them people I clicked follow on was porn stars that follow me, was strippers that follow me. So sometimes I go to my Twitter timeline and I see a whole naked booty in the air, going up and down, clapping like a song on. You hear me? And I have to see that, and then I have to call on God for the strength to not indulge in that and get with Angela. And I have to go and click on that woman page and click unfollow. And I'm here today to share that testimony with you. But guess what? Every man of God ain't going to be on the same level of maturity. Because of what I do every day, that give me extra strength in being able to do that. But your man of God who do construction, and he's not who do insurance, who is a school teacher, who is a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, who don't have to remind himself every day about the temptation and the lust that he gonna be tempted and tested with. When he is tempted in that way, he could fall prey to it. He could fall. Your man of God. Listen, what you got to understand, man of God does not mean perfect. Man of God does not mean ready-made. Because guess what? Let me ask you this. Are you a woman of God? Oh, you are? Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you gossip? Do you backbite? Do you watch junk on television? When you see a handsome man, do you lust? Do you curse? Do you drink too much some nights? Do you smoke? Do you masturbate? Do you pay your tithe? Do you covet? Envy? Jealousy? When you see a woman have what you want? Oh, woman of God, huh? Oh, woman of God. Oh, so you see how that worked now. Now you see that a man or woman of God is still imperfect. Still needs some help. Still needs some work. Woman of God, do you fornicate? When the last time you was in fornication? When the last time you was in masturbation? When the last time you was in lustation? When you were lusting? Come on now. Come on now. When the last time you cheated on your taxes? You claim expenses that you didn't have. Claim children that weren't yours. Come on now, woman of God. Come on. So where you think this perfect kingdom man of God gonna come from? That ain't gonna have no temptation. That ain't gonna have no sin. That ain't gonna have no test. So all the time, y'all come talking about. Oh well, God. God said, God said he's finna do this. And this man is gonna look like this and sound like this and talk like this, and he gonna be 6 feet tall. He gonna make 6 figures. He gonna have a 6-pack of abs. His thing below the waist gonna be 6 inches or longer. And he gonna love to eat peach cobbler. He gonna know how to plan dates. He gonna know how to plan a wedding. He gonna pay for everything. He gonna do everything. He gonna sit me down when I get ready to be sat down. He gonna talk to me like a queen. He ain't gonna never yell at me. He ain't gonna never want to curse at me. He ain't gonna never look at another woman's booty. He ain't gonna never be tempted to sleep with another woman. He ain't gonna never be tempted to lust. That's what women be saying. And I'll be like, really? Oh, really? Okay, so let me ask you, okay, so have you met him yet? Oh, you haven't. Oh, do you think that's a reason why you have not met him yet? Okay, now do you want to ask me, have I met him yet? Because I'm a man, so I'm around men. In the barbershop, in the locker room, on sports teams. I'm working with men of God. I'm around men. Do you want to know, have I met him yet? Oh, you want to know? No, I have not met him. That man you describing in the comments, I have not met him. Out of the thousands of men. And guess what? So if I have not met him, and you have not met him, oh, well, I did know him one time, but things just didn't work out. Stop lying. You ain't know that man. That's why it ain't work out. You ain't know him. That he wasn't the man of God you thought he was. That's why it ain't work out. So what I'm trying to tell you is that a man of God is an imperfect man. He's still gonna need prayer daily. He's still gonna need to be in his word daily. He's still gonna lust and have to repent. Yes. Oh, Tony. You know what, Tony? You do not believe in God. I cannot believe. I thought you was a man of God. I am a man of God. That's how I know what man of... Are you a man of God? Woman of God? Are you a man of God? Because God didn't make man and woman the same. Have you ever had the brain of a man in you as a woman. Oh, you haven't? Have you ever had, as a woman of God, have you ever had a penis, third leg, meat leg? Have you ever had one? Okay. So you don't know how it works. Okay, let me tell you how it works. Until a certain age, when the wind blow hard, it stand up. And when it stand up, it's ready to go to work. It's ready to go to work. And if your wife ain't around you, you got to go into prayer. You hear me? And every man, even men of God, what does the Bible phone down? What does the Bible describe David as? David was the king, first king of Jerusalem. Okay? He is known both as a great fighter and as the sweet singer of Israel, the source of poems and songs, some of which are collected in the book of Psalms. All right. David, the apple of God's eye. Okay. David killed Goliath. But then, who is Bathsheba? Now see, what you got, let me help you understand this right here now. David, a man after God's own heart, was sitting and looking out, and he saw a beautiful woman who was bathing on a rooftop, and he had her brought to him, and then he found out she belonged to another man. So that would be a sin to sleep with this man's wife. And he had Uriah moved to the front line of battle where Uriah was killed. Now let me ask you this. Did David have Instagram? Did David have Twitter? Did David have OnlyFans? Did David have Backpage? Did David have Bumble, Tinder? Answer my question. Answer my question. Did David have Pornhub? So, no distractions of reality TV. No distractions of Instagram, of social media. No direct access to millions of women through a phone screen. Okay? And had been used by God in a mighty way. Had seen God use him to slay the giant. See, the man God sent you ain't never fought a giant. All right? Don't know how to put a rock in a sling. And is never going to be a king of no country. Okay? So listen. David used God used David on levels that no man today will be able to say God done use him on that level. And if David can fall and have to repent, but still be used by God to write in the Bible, then guess what? Your man of God that you think somehow gonna be perfect. And I be trying to tell women about men, and I say, listen, men gonna battle with lust. Every single man battles with lust. I've never met a man that does not battle with lust. Every single man gonna battle with lust. Oh, well, a man of God, a man of God, lust ain't gonna be no problem. Lust, what is lust? He ain't gonna, a man of God don't even know how to spell lust. You talking about a secular man. You talking about a man of the world. Listen, your butt lusting. You lusting. You over here lusting. So, if you see men out here nastier than women, if you capable of lusting, what you think he gonna be capable of? You hear me? Listen, I have to stay at the foot of the cross. You hear me? If I walk too far from the cross, I'm gonna fall into sin. I got to stay at the foot of the cross, crying out to the Lord. Lord, give me strength. Lord, give me strength. Lord, give me strength. All day long, Lord, give me strength. Oh, Lord, help me not to do a double take. I could be looking around like this right here and see a shape this shape will make a woman who don't even like women hold her breath. So what you think it's gonna do for a man? See, that's why I try to tell you, like, see, a lot of times women ask for the truth about men, and you're not ready for the truth about men. You're not ready for the truth about men. A man of God, he's gonna let you know that in the Bible where it say pray without ceasing, he gonna let you know it was written for him. Cause we have to pray without ceasing. I got to coach in a little bit. We got to pray without ceasing. So that's what you got to understand. That's what you got to understand. So listen to me now. Hear me. Hear me out now. Hear me out. This thing real. This thing real. Let me help you understand. This man of God that you think gonna be perfect. This man of God who you think gonna love you and he 10, 15 years younger than you. No, His heart could be turned over to greed because you look stable, because you bringing something to the table, and he just happened to bump into you. It's women his age who bringing something to the table, but they might gonna judge him a little harsher. They may ain't gonna move as fast with him as you gonna move, because you older and you got a little desperation in you. So this man of God that's 10, 15 years younger than you still could have bad intentions as a man of God, because he human, and because men of God sin. Men of God make bad choices. Men of God make mistakes. Yes, they do. This man of God that you think is never going to struggle with lust, never consider cheating, never consider lusting, not going to struggle with masturbation, not going to struggle with pornography. This man of God that you think ain't going to have no problems in the world, you got another thing coming. Do you hear me? So what I want you to shift your mindset is to understand the key is, does he have a pursuant heart? Is his heart diligently and righteously pursuing God? When he gets weak and he tries to sin, and you check him and remind him that fornication is a sin, does he allow you to reprimand him, to correct him, to provide reproof for him? Does he say, you know what? You're right. I apologize. It's like, you just so beautiful. You're just so sexy. The chemistry is so strong. It's like, I love the Lord. Like, I was just crying out to the Lord last night, but it's like, sometimes it's hard for me to really go all the way in with the Lord, because truthfully and honestly, the Lord is not here. Like, I can't see the Lord. I can't hear the Lord. I just got to feel the Spirit. And sometimes it's like, I could see you and I'm looking at you, and them hams is bouncing, and I can't see the Lord. I can't hear the Lord. I just got to feel the Lord. I'm praying to him. I'm reading the Bible. But I'm looking at literal hams in my face, and them leggings you got on, and them jeans you got on, and I'm a man. And so I got weak. I admit I got weak. And if you were not strong, I would have fell into sin. So I thank you for you knowing better and for you keeping your strength. Because you could have fell into sin too. You know, it's countless women that come to me and they say, I'm a woman of God. I know I'm a good catch. But they living in willing fornication. So I'm like, if you are a woman of God and you're in willing fornication, what different do you think a man gonna be? If you can fall into sin, if you can masturbate and lust and fornicate and backbite and gossip and steal or cheat, lie, manipulate, deceive, argue and debate with a spirit of beg to differ, want to cause strife, if you could do that, what make you think this man of God finna just come in a knight on shining armor and just be perfect and you ain't gonna have no issues? Where they do that at? The Bible done told you, you gonna be tempted. But with every test, the weapon that's formed against you shall not prosper. You know what that might mean? What that may mean is that this quote unquote man of God fall into sin with the devil and a weapon is formed against you, the spiritual weapon to get you to fall into sex sin. And then your way of escape is to break up with him and go on about your business. That might be how that scripture is applied to your life. Not you falling into sin with him and then saying, oh, well, we both just sinners trying to be better. You see what I'm saying? So I want you to understand this. Y'all have to get off this fairy tale of thinking that a man with God, a man of God is just some perfect man that don't struggle with the rest of men. It's like I have to die out to myself. I struggle with everything that every other man struggle with. But I have to die out to myself. And I have to cry out to the Lord. And that ain't easy. That ain't easy. It's not easy to believe in something that you cannot physically see. It's not easy to forego, withstand instant gratification for a walk of faith. That's not easy. And just because you call yourself a man of God or a woman of God, it's not going to make it easy. That's why we have the plight of the world. That's why we going through what we going through. That's why you see churches falling. That's why you see pastors falling. That's why you see churches being more like a business than a place of worship. It's because humans are at the helm, steering the boat. Let me drive the boat. It's because humans saying, let me drive the boat. And the man of God and the woman of God is falling into greed, falling into lust, falling into sin. And just because you a Christian don't make you perfect. And just because you a Christian and you praying, you don't know how God evaluating your heart. Because if your heart is describing somebody that's based on your lust, that's based on your preference, that's based on your selfishness, that's based on your ego, you might not even be calling it selfishness or lust or ego. But when you try the word, try the spirit by the spirit, and you look at the way God look at it, he say, oh no, that's lust in your heart. That's why you want a man that's over 6 foot tall who makes 6 figures. That right, the root of that is lust and greed. Because you don't truly trust me. So you want a man that could provide all your needs. You ain't trusting in God. Because if you truly trust God, a 5'9" man will do you just fine. You ain't want to hear that. If you truly trust God, if you love and you happy with the Lord, then your pleasure and your happiness don't come from the bedroom. It comes from the Spirit of the Lord. So while you saying size matters, well, not in God book, not in the Holy Bible. Woman of God who praying for a man of God. God don't care about the size of a man thing at all. God don't care about the height of a man. God don't care about the complexion of a man. God don't care about how big his nose is, how big his lips is, how little his eyes are, how far apart his eyes are. God don't care. God love that man. If that man's eye is on this side of his head, his eye on this side of his head, and his nose take up this much of his face, God love him. And God will use him. So you praying to God for your man, and God said, listen, you don't see him the way I see him. So you're not of my heart, because my Bible tells you that God has no respect of persons. God ain't judging people by looks. Woman of God. So while you praying for your man of God, now God is not a cruel God. God ain't no cruel God. Now he not finna send you no man that look like Shrek unless you attracted to a man that look like Shrek. But at the same time, he might not send you no man that look like a dream either, because we human, and you don't look like no dream. You don't look like no dream. All right. You don't look like no dream. I know you might think you cute, but listen, there's a couple things you need to work on. All right. There's a couple things Dr. Miami trying to call you down there for. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, stop praying for a man that Jesus Christ wasn't even. A lot of y'all describing a man that the Bible don't even describe Jesus that well. I'm like, my goodness. Like Jesus was tempted. Jesus, of all people, Jesus was tempted. And guess what? Didn't have no radio, didn't have no TV distraction, didn't have no internet distraction, didn't have no pornography distraction. They didn't have pornography. And Jesus was tempted. And the Bible ain't say he had to think about it, but he had to rebuke the devil. He had to give the devil a word. He had to give the devil a word and say, listen here, play what now? Hold on now. The Bible say, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. The word say, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Now, hold on now, play what? Jesus had him a phone about to die. Jesus had to let the devil know. So listen now. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So the man of God that you keep describing, that you think finna be so perfect, is gonna be tempted. But guess what? When this man of God is tempted, he also has 1,000 distractions that Jesus didn't have, that David did not have, that Samson did not have, that Apostle Paul, when he was Saul, did not have. You hear me? That Abraham did not have. God said, listen, the blessing ain't gonna come through Sarah. And they're like, hold on, Lord, well, where the blessing at? The blessing ain't came yet. And then, so Sarah said, let's go sleep with my handmaid. Abraham didn't wait on, what's that? Go sleep with the handmaid. Man, you know, I hate to do this, Sarah. You know, I really don't want to do that, Sarah. But man, I hate to do this, Sarah. But hey, oh yeah, I'll be back. Man, Abraham was out of there so fast. Abraham, father of many nations, and you can't wait on God. Abraham, boy, you talk to God. Literally. Abraham, boy, you talk to God. Boy, you hear the actual voice of God. And you can't wait on God promise? Okay. So now where you think your 2021 man of God finna fall in at? Between Abraham, David, you hear me? Solomon, you hear me? Jesus, you hear me? Apostle Paul, Samson. Where do you think Moses, Aaron, Timothy, where do you think your man of God finna fall in at? You think he finna be greater than all of them men? All right, now you better wake up and smell the coffee. And you better realize that the man of God is still in the world. He's not of the world, but he will be tempted and he will be tested of the world. And that the Bible tells you every man will fall short of the glory of God. And that's why Jesus said, go and sin no more. Because he knows sin coming. He know the sin coming. What do the Bible say? What do the Bible say? Oh, you don't know? I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to read it to you. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 6. Most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find? You hear me? Every last one of us, including myself, has fallen short of the glory of God, even while being a quote unquote man of God. Even while being a man of God. Oh, my wife called me, but my video's still going. Hey, I got to go to Queen calling. I got to take one of my sons to practice. God bless you. We'll talk soon.